Alright, greetings everybody, it is me, and tonight I am living up to my name, something that I should probably be doing more often, which is actually being Umber Rays. And as you can see here, we do have the new JP unit. That is a video that I'm going to be making right away, but since tomorrow is kind of a, bit of a day for global in terms of your update, I figured I'd focus on that first. And there really isn't, like, this isn't the most important video in the world, but it is a video that I actually just want to be overall positive about because the Final Fantasy V collaboration is coming to global. And honestly, it's probably been my favorite thing since the third anniversary. In a year where it's felt just crowded with 100 cost units, a lot of units that have felt, you know, variants on each other and very much a lot of the same, where like every character that you're seeing is just like, oh well, it's a character that has this, and guts or re-raise or this all this common thing. The Final Fantasy V collaboration really did feel like a breath of fresh air in terms of its species, its characters, its combinations that it kind of made possible. And to that extent, I want to talk about that really, just some of the stuff about the VCs and some of the stuff about the characters. All right, so now with the intro over, let's get in and talk about them in chronological order of their appearance. And the one that we need to talk about first is the one that essentially everybody gets, which is Barts. Barts is a really great character, and actually to this day is definitely one of my more favorite characters in the entire game. And the big reason for that is because Barts is just the most, well, I want to go on record as saying that I think he's one of the most account friendly characters, especially like first free copy characters that we've ever seen in the entire game. There's like, if you look at like in the past about Locke, and you look about Cecil and Titus and some of those characters like that, they kind of just really did very much enable their own elements. And to be fair, back then it was more elemental stuff. But I do think Bart's is just a more universally good character that you can stick in any different element and feature success and have a lot of fun with just the way his main gimmick works. Like, Bart's overall is just a bit of a powerhouse. He can deal really good damage on his own. He's pretty defensive, pretty offensive. He can get rid of things like ignoring fatal damage. He can debuff. He can reduce damage to himself and increase AoE resistance for others. He can absorb damage done. There's a lot of stuff in Bart's kit that makes him very versatile. But it's his ability that really allows him to be with other units. That's the coolest one. The increased slash attack resistance penetration, which increases his own power when a friendly unit is within the diamond AoE pattern style around him. He gets to cast a secondary attack on himself after the other character attack. And that is just really neat for like trying to do team building, from going like, oh, do we want range units? Do we want up close units? Do we want characters that kind of stay close together? Maybe, and with AoE resistance floating around, hey, it's not the worst thing in the world. Barts, to me, is one of the most fun characters that Wotv has ever introduced, because a lot of different people can use him, a lot of different elements can use him, and I think he'll be good now and into the future. I do want to say that I think that his VC, I'm just trying to remember what the global name is. Can't find it now. I did have it. Was it under Frontline? It's the Hiryu card, the pixelated dragon with Lena and the dragon from Final Fantasy V. The tycoon whole thing. You know which VC I'm talking about. You know what? I'm even going to pull it up right now. That is what I would consider to be a very good get for Barts and multiple other characters because it is human killer. The more human killer you can stack with Barts, the more effective his secondary attack is. And that goes a long way into improving his utility and being able to, a really cool combination, I think, just with Barts is, let's say you put Lightning with him. Lightning already has a secondary attack that she can do a follow-up with. You stick that kind of situation with Barts. Once both have their abilities activated, if Lightning casts her ability and she's still close to Barts, within that range, that 2 in every direction kind of thing, then you get to have fun. Lightning will cast her ability, cast her follow-up, and then Barts' follow-up will also hit. So you can get this neat little chain. It doesn't actually help towards chaining or anything like that, but it is just a really cool, fun feeling to kind of get these units working together. And Barts is, I think, just an overall great design. I really like him. So I guess that basically the final thing to say about Barts is I think he's just great for every account. He's one of the more fun characters I've seen in a long time. I really like his overall design and everything, his utility, and I think just everybody can use him. So yeah, great that he's a first copy character, and VC, get it for him just because. All right, next up, we're going to talk about Lena, and Lena is one of the characters I haven't used the most. Mainly because Lena is very specifically good. I mean, if you look at her core AI, she is a healer / buffer. She is a 100% always going to be doing that. When she originally came out on JP, which was a little bit of a disappointment for me, mainly because I really wanted her to still do some attacking, and she just kind of doesn't. I mean, for people who are looking for a healer, this is the character that you are essentially looking for. And for people who are potentially looking to give Dark some new tricks, this is definitely the character to do that, mainly because what Lena is capable of bringing, re-raise and whatnot to characters who don't necessarily have re-raise, support to characters who maybe need a little more support. Lena is really great at that, and she really excels at it. She is not a character that fits every single element, but she could potentially in the future find neat places where she could just be like, oh wait, this kind of works, sort of thing. So long as she's behind maybe a strong tank and maybe a really great offense, you can potentially just outlast while still doing decent damage, enough to just win and keep your team healthy for multiple battles. Lena is not an incredibly amazing character. She's not my favorite character, but she is a slightly lower cost than the next character, and that makes her easier to get. So people who are looking for a dedicated healer / support, I think this is the character you want. But I do want to go so far as to say I absolutely love her design in game. The color palette, the armor, her weapon, which is really great. I just love everything that they did for designing Lena and making her look so great in Wotv. She is one of my favorite characters to be brought from another game into Wotv. My number one, of course, being Lightning. I actually just love the way Lightning looks in the game. I think she looks so great, and Lena is another one that I just think looks fantastic. So not necessarily the most utility recommendation, but I do just want to say some strong points about Lena, because I think there is, of course, additional value sometimes to having a unit that you love. And I'm sure people will be good about that one. Anyway. All right, now the last character, the character that has not come out yet, that will be out in the future, also coming around with the same time with the Sildra VC, is Ferris. And Ferris, I cannot say enough good things about, because she is a character that completely revitalized me towards the water element, with her and Astrius and Breen, or her and Astrius and Celeste, or her and Breen and Amnelis. There are so many great combinations with water elemental characters. And for the weeks after Ferris finally became a bonus unit, I was just ranking in the wins against different elements and everything like that. Ferris is a very defensively strong character that is capable, that, like Barts, has just one of my most favorite things in Wotv, which is the attack with a follow-up effect. I think that is just so cool always to see some new things, like some actual new things on characters. And the 2 attacks for 1 is really cool. The fact that she's very offensive is very cool. The fact that she still has really good defensive capabilities and a long-lasting character is just great. Like, she can up DPS on certain characters while dealing damage, or potentially heal and restore AP while dealing damage. All that stuff is just great. And yeah, Ferris just became one of my most favorite characters in all of Wotv history, because I mean, she revitalized, like I said, one of my most favoriteest elements in the entire game. And yeah, much like Lena, I think her actual design is great in the game. I know that some people will say maybe hair color or whatnot, but I think that all of the 5 characters, I should say, look great in their own way. And yeah, I love this character for some of just the really cool stuff that she can do. God, I could just talk about how generally happy this character kind of made me. And I think that you can also potentially bring her into the ice element with some of the crossover VCs, especially because the Silver VC, which gives slash resistance penetration, can also work on some other units, which potentially allows Ferris to jump over elements in the same way Barts does, but I think less successfully than Barts does. But yeah, just one of my favorite characters, period, in the entire Wotv game, and was a big boost to me just having fun again. So I guess, here at the end of this video, I just want to say that overall, I really love the Final Fantasy V event. Was it anything remarkably new in terms of gameplay for Wotv? Absolutely not. It was, business as per usual as far as Wotv goes. But that's not a bad thing here, because it was fun and the characters were all cool, and Barts was a really great get for all players in the game, which is a great thing when it felt like Wotv was getting more costly constantly and whatnot. Lena is a very specifically good healer. Barts is just great for every account, I think. And Ferris is more specialized, but still a character that I strongly love. So I'm going to give her a little more praise. And as for the 2 VCs, I would say that the Hero one is just better overall. The first one that comes with Barts and Lena, that's the one that is generally the one that I think is more universally applicable for most people out there. For people who are looking for the Sildra one, you look at, it's the Red Mage group, it's Katana group, and it's also the, Cane or Wand group. These things, this one feels a little bit more specific as to the type of team that you're trying to build here. But yeah, Sildra, I think, also Sildra is a wind slash based summon. So if you're, it can just be a really good slash Esper, but depends on whether or not you need that, on whether I think the VC is. But yeah, that's all of FF5. I hope you enjoyed as much as I did. Thank you so much for watching, and see you in the future on Berets in the Shadows.